What is D, what is R, I will let you know. Shall I proceed? Next one, Gardens model. What is this? Okay, all of you, say this. I will. Okay, for which I will give you the um, derivation also. Simple only. You have studied at intermediate level. That I am just working out. What is the rate of return for equity shareholders? Return on equity. What is the formula for that? Income divided by investment. Do you agree? What is an income for equity shareholder? Dividend plus P1 minus P0. What is this? Appreciation divided by P0. Agreed? You need to say yes or no. You people have let down your mothers. When I see your mother, I will tell. You people are taking a lot of food, is what your daughters have complained. I will tell. P1 minus P0 minus P0 divided by P0. D1 plus P1 divided by P0 minus 1. This ROE, return on equity, what is considered to be return on equity for shareholder, for the company it becomes cost of capital. One man's income is other man's expenditure. Now, do you know what is the next stage that we will take it up? 1 plus KE is equal to P1 plus P1 divided by P0. So P0 is equal to P1 plus P1 divided by 1 plus KE. This is what they have given as a formula for Modigliani and Miller approach. Come on. It is not only the formula but also the derivation part. This is the formula for Modigliani and Miller approach. Residual dividend policy. There is no formula involved. Whatever I told you about your mother, that is what it is all about. Decisions related to dividend will be taken up after considering the requirement of capital investment taking place during the following year or following years. Only after satisfying the requirements of capital investments, the remaining earnings will be declared as dividend. Come on. Okay. Lintner's model. DT stands for dividend for period T. CR is not a credit. T is separate, R is separate. I will let you know what is that. EPST is the earnings per share of a particular period T, and T minus 1 is the dividend of the previous period. So that's all as far as these many items are concerned. There are totally 5 types of problems only we have. Walter, Garden, residual, limitless. Only 5 types. But whatever we have not taken up at intermediate level, in the topic cost of capital will come up for some amount of practice now. The problems will be a little extra that you would be finding, not related to final, you have to start with. That is the link between intermediate and final, for which certain problems you will be handling. Okay, first few problems are like that only. So very fast we will take it up. Question number 1. So this Lindner's model and all that, it's a very old one. Question number 1, constant dividend model. Streamline Limited pays a dividend of 18% on the equity shares of face value of rupees 100 each. Find out the value of equity shares given that the dividend rate is expected to remain same and the required rate of return of the investor is 12%. All of you closely follow. Whatever we are doing is not under dividend policy. It is only from cost of equity we are taking it up. Just to get reminded about this formula, we are using that. 18% on the face value. Dividend is rupees 18. How come? 18% on 100. Then the cost of equity is how much? 12%. That is KE. You know the formula as KE is equal to dividend divided by P naught. The question what they have asked is that find out the value of equity share. That is, they are asking PO. PO is equal to dividend divided by KE. We are applying this formula. 18 divided by 12% is equal to rupees 150. This is the answer for this question. Come on. Narayana Limited paid dividend of rupees 5 per share. It is expected to grow at 12% per annum. The required rate of return in equity share is 19%. Find out the current value. D1 is equal to D0 into 1 plus G. Then KE is equal to D1 divided by P0 plus G. KE minus G is equal to D1 divided by P0, and P0 is equal to D1 divided by KE minus G. This is the formula. This is what we would be using. D1 is equal to D0. Paid dividend would mean last year's dividend paid now. How much? 5 into 1 plus growth rate. What is the growth rate? 12%. 0.12. 5.60. D1 is equal to 5.60. So this is the first working note. Then P0 is equal to 5.60 divided by KE, 19%. Growth rate 0.12. Come on. We are just getting practice to the formula that we have used at the intermediate level. This is not directly a matter related to dividend policy. Say this constant growth model is a positive growth model. What if the growth is in the negative? Next question. Shall I proceed? Praveen? Shall I move to the next one? Simon Limited is one of the myriad of companies selling word processors programs. Their newest program will cost rupees 5 million to develop. First year the net cash flow will be rupees 2 million. As a result of competition, profits will fall by 2% each year thereafter. All cash inflows will occur at the year end. The market discount rate is 14%. What is the value of this new program? Quickly go through this problem. What is that? It is a sort of a capital budgeting problem only. How come? Discounted cash outflow. How much? 5 million. Cash inflow first year 2 million. And so on. Then how do we evaluate this discounted cash inflow? Discounted cash inflow is equal to, remember in capital budgeting we have discussed term into two, fixed and that is finite and infinite. In infinite we had one perpetuity, the other one with growth. In fact, I have asked you to submit IRR assignment. Do you remember? Under that, this particular problem is coming up. Earnings divided by KE minus G. This G is of course negative G. 2 million divided by, what is the cost of capital? $12.5 million. What is the question? What is the value of this new program? That means discounted cash inflow 12.5 million and NPV is 7.5 million. This is what they have called it out as value. Come on. All of you. So positive growth we have seen, negative growth we have seen, constant growth we have just taken up. Mahindra Limited is expected to pay an equal amount of dividend at the end of first 2 years. Thereafter, the dividend will grow at a constant rate of 4% indefinitely. The stock is currently traded at rupees 30. What is the expected dividend per share for the next year? The required rate of return is 12%. Title is reverse vertical. The equal amount of dividend to be paid for first 2 years, and thereafter there will be an increase of dividend by 4%. Presently the price is 30. What is the expected dividend for the next year if the required rate of return is 12%? All of you closely follow. Here 1, 2, 2. What are the events? Dividend, same amount of dividend. Here dividend into 1 plus 0.04 divided by KE minus G. Okay. Then present value factor. What is the rate? 12. This is rupees 30. So how do you bring out in the form of equation? D into 0.8929 plus D into 0.7972 plus D into 1.04 divided by 0.12 minus 0.04 into 0.7972 equal to 0.89, sorry, 1.04 divided by 0.08. It is 0.8929 D1 D plus 0.7972 D plus 10.3636 D equal to 30. $12.0537 D is equal to 30. D is equal to 24.89. Sorry, 2. Is that clear? It is all the same matter, whatever we have discussed at intermediate or in capital budgeting, all that will come up for a sort of an application in this topic. So nothing, what should I say, great or something new that we will be learning in this case. Shall I proceed? Question 5. DGM and capital budgeting. DGM stands for Dividend Growth Model. Right Bite Enterprises sells toothpicks. Gross revenue last year were 3 million and total cost 1.5 million. Right Bite has 1 million shares of common stock outstanding. Gross revenues and costs are expected to grow at 5% per annum. Right Bite pays no income tax and all earnings are paid out of dividends. if the appropriate discount rate is 15% and all cash flows were received at the year's end, what is the price per share of RightBite? The president of RightBite decided to begin a program to produce toothbrushes. The project requires an immediate outlay of rupees 15 million. In 1 year, another outlay of rupees 5 million will be needed. The year after that, net cash inflows will be 6 million. This profit level will be maintained in perpetuity. What effect will undertaking this project have on the prices per share of the stock? Please quickly go through this problem. Okay, firstly, they are telling that the revenue is 3 million, cost is 1.5 million, net revenue or net profit is 1.5 million, and there is no tax also. So this is expected to grow 5%. That means sales will grow up by 5% and cost will grow up by 5%, would mean profit will go up by 5%. If the appropriate discount rate is 15% and cash flows were generated at the year end, what is the price? There is no growth rate there. There is no growth rate other than this 5%. So price equal to D1 divided by A minus G. Price equal to 1.5 into what is the growth rate? 5%. 1.05 divided by discount rate is 15%, 0.15 minus growth rate of 0.05. This is the answer for the first part of the question. Am I right? Next one. President decided to begin a program to produce toothbrushes. From toothpick, he is going to the extent of toothbrush. The project requires an immediate outlay of 15 million. Discounted cash outflow 15 million. And in 1 year, another outlay of 5 million to be taken up. Discounted cash outflow number 2. 5 million into what is the cost of capital they are given in the problem? 15%. 0.86, 4.34. Year after that, the cash inflow will be 6 million and the profit will be maintained perpetually. So, cash inflow number at Y2. For the first time, they will be getting the cash inflow by year number 2. How come? In 0th year, 15 million spent. This is by year number 1. 1 year thereafter, they are getting some amount of flow is what they stated. Are you understanding? What is that flow? 6 million. And this is likely to remain in perpetuity is what they stated. So therefore, discounted cash inflow is equal to 6 million divided by KE 0.15. Why minus growth rate? There is no growth rate. Growth rate is only for toothpick and not for toothbrush. Into Second year's PV factor 0.7561. Why it is multiplied by 0.7561? Because this is a cash inflow at Y2. If you are not understanding, you can put it like in the form of capital budgeting 0, 1, 2. Events, cash outlay number 1, cash outlay number 2, cash inflow. Cash flows 5 million, 6 million divided by 0.15. Actually, this is happening by year end. So therefore, whatever number that I have used here is not correct. It should be 0.8696. This is also a number 1. I will explain. Please just don't hesitate on that. 1.8696, 0.8696. These are all outflows, discounted cash flow. Now I will explain. All of you closely follow. I committed the mistake of taking up second year's PV factor, but you have to take up only first year's PV factor. Now I will explain. How come? P0 is equal to D1 divided by AE. The price what we are arriving at is not by P1. The price what we are arriving at is by the beginning of the year for the earnings made during the end of the current year. Are you understanding, all of you? So P0 is equal to P1 divided by AE. What they have mentioned that they will be earning second year end would mean the value of that will be taken up by year number 2 beginning or year number 1 end. Are you understanding? At peace, you just think and confirm. No pushing and all that. Are you clear? So therefore, what they mentioned as 6 million is at the end of the second year, the valuation of which will be taken up by the beginning of the second year, that being the first year end. Are you clear? All of you. Have you understood? Initially, I multiplied it by second year's PV factor without taking into consideration that the valuation will be done by the beginning of the second year. And that change that we made, 15, outflow 4.35.